Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to take some time today to really cover one of the most intimidating things that I discovered when I first started selling trading cards online, and that was packing orders. I needed to create something that made sense to me, that was consistent, that would also get me consistently good reviews. And so I want to kind of unpack that today. I want to do it as quickly as possible, but I certainly have a lot of details I want to share with you. I'll create a video later down the road that really gives a link to some of the items and the products that I'm using, so that you can maybe go and purchase those as well. But today really is the methodology behind how I pack and do things. One note is I'm using a different microphone than I did in my first video, because I'm going to need my tabletop space, and the microphone that I typically use sits on a stand with wires everywhere in front of me, and you'll see why that matters here in just a moment. But thanks for being here today. Bear with me, the audio is not going to be not as beautiful as in my last video. But one of the things I want to do while we get started here is I want to show you just my website on tcgplayer.com. You can see here that I have 100% positive reviews. You can see the kinds of reviews that come in, and the number of lifetime reviews. I have 186 cards right now currently listed on tcgplayer.com. I'm a level 4 seller, and all my cards are live. I have 8 orders that I'm going to be packing later today. In fact, one of them is here. I've blocked out the name and the address of the gentleman that purchased these cards from me. But I wanted you to see this. And one thing I want to do, and this is not me bragging, but I do want to give credibility to what I'm about to show you, right? What you're about to see. And that is some of the comments that I have here. They are perfect. They came quickly in perfect condition. A little note inside, which made my day. Amazing seller, 10 out of 10. The little pull tab for the card is genius, and I'll show you that here in a moment as well. So easy to get the card out without bending the box to get it out. Arrived quickly and with an awesome Dungeons and Dragons stamp. I'll show you that here in a minute too. I love putting fun stamps on envelopes. I'm brand new to TCG Player. My experience with Flip House Finds was awesome. Fast shipping, great service, very nicely packed. Recommended. Items was packed well, came quickly. I ordered the cards, standard 7 to 10 day shipping, and the cards were here in 4 days. I think he was not too far from me, and so I'm going to do a whole video about where you're located in the country, why that matters for your selling. Great seller, highly recommended. Thanks for the shipping the cards safely. Shop with you again. Exactly as advertised. Nice little note, nice drawing. I'll show you that too. Repeat buyer, always a great experience. I've placed 20 orders across sellers at TCG Player, and this seller shipped fastest, packed perfectly, and even included a handwritten thank you note. Going forward, I will check their inventory first before other sellers. Received it quickly, quick delivery, cards described, fair priceless, excellent experience. So that's just some of the stuff. I just wanted to show you very quickly why people keep coming back to me and why it's a good experience. And that's why I pack the way that I do. I just like to have that consistency, and I want my customers to be happy with what they receive. All right, so I'm going to kick over to camera number 2 here. The quality of this camera is not as good as what's on my face, but it's the easiest way that I could kind of show you. Let me kind of get some of my stuff out of the way here. I could show you how to do this. So this is the typical invoice that gets printed off on tcgplayer.com. It's going to list the cards and their number. And you can see here, this customer, I have free shipping if you spend over $5. So sometimes people will buy cards and then they want to try to get to that $5 so they can get free shipping. And so this is why the cost of your, the cost of your supplies matters. Like your penny sleeves, your top loaders, shipping shields is what I use, your envelopes. If you can buy them in larger quantities, you're cutting down on the cost. If they spend under $5, TCG Player automatically puts $1.31 on there, and if you can get your cost below $1.31 and your stamp and all the other things that you need to do, you can actually make money on that $1.31 as well. But that's a whole nother video. But let me show you. Okay, go back to this and show you what we got going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is look to see if there's anything that makes these unique. Are they Japanese card? Are they not in near mint condition? And I'm going to use my pink highlighter. You can use whatever you want. Maybe you don't even want to do this step, but this is what I do. And so I'm gonna. These are both Pokeballs. That's a Master Ball. And so I don't want to give somebody a Master Ball, which typically has more value, when they've just paid for a Pokeball. So I just highlight those so that as I'm pulling the cards, that I can take note of that. And then I've got over here on the side, let me go back to this screen, I've got this amazing organizer. Again, I'll do a video on that at a later date as well. But I've already pulled the 4 cards that are going to be in this order. And so let's go back to camera 2. Okay, so these are the 4 cards that they have, and these are the tabs that they were talking about. Not only does it make it easy for the customer to get the cards out when they receive them, it's also easy to pull out for me as I'm preparing the order. You can get 300 of these for like $3. So they're like a penny a piece, and I get great reviews from them. So like in this instance, like here's all 4 cards. I just take the tabs, boom, they're all 4 out. Top loaders are done. Put those aside. And here's the cards. So the first thing I'm going to do is I make sure that each card is what they say they are. I've already checked that, so to make this faster. And what I typically do is I'm going to highlight the name of the card and the number on the card, just to make sure, again, for my own sanity. And then I'm going to highlight the quantity over here, and then I'm going to circle the big quantity at the bottom and then put a check mark there. And that just so the customer knows I took time to make sure that the cards were ready. And then I'm going to pull the cards all out individually, and I'm going to take a picture of the cards. I just do that to make sure that they are all here. I laid them all out in the order in which they were done. I'll take my phone. It doesn't matter. I'll take my phone. I'll take a picture of the cards. Maybe I should use this camera. Take a picture. That way I just have proof that I did have the cards. There are people, unfortunately, on TCG Player that are going to try to scam you to try to sell a card they don't have and then say it got lost in the mail. I'm not that guy. So I just take a picture, no matter what the value of the order is, just so I can show that I did actually own the cards and that I am getting them prepared. So you can get sometimes up to 10 cards in a penny sleeve. And so this one's ready to go. So all 4 cards are in there. I like to bend over the tab just a little bit at the top. And then this, I cannot stress enough the value in shipping shields. When you buy these at quantities of 500 or 1,000, they actually come in cheaper than top loaders. And I know that top loaders are more prevalent when you're buying collections, or if you have a lot of top loaders at home, you may just want to put a card in the penny sleeve and then in a top loader, and then just put some tape over the top of the top loader. And if you've got a lot of top loaders, that makes sense. But I just want to tell you, shipping shield is the way to go. And I'm going to go ahead just very quickly. This is not a paid ad, but I am a Shipping Shield affiliate. And so I have a way for you to save money at Shipping Shield. You can go to shippingshieldus.com and you can use FlipHouseFinds10 to get 10% off your complete order, no matter what you order on there. The Shipping Shield that I just showed you is one of them. I'm going to show you the card cushion here in a few minutes when I show you how to pack in a padded envelope. This is another product they have. I have a stamp so that I can put my logo on those. But shippingshieldus.com, use FlipHouseFinds10 to get 10% off your complete order. I even bought this. This holds all my shipping shields, and you can get that on the website. I think it's like 15 bucks, but you can get 10% off of that as well. Just a quick plug. All right, now back to the packing video. All right, so then I'm going to take these 4 cards and the shipping shield, and I'm going to slide them in there very nicely. The tab is kind of folded over. I kind of hold it down as I close it shut, and then I'm going to get some of my blue tape, my packing tape. Do not use clear packing tape. Use the blue painter's tape. It is the best. It doesn't stick. I've received cards that are with regular packing tape. Absolutely the worst. So I do this. Okay, then I grab a team bag. I put it in, pull the sticky off, and there you have virtually waterproof but well protected, ready to go. These are the team bags that I use, the cardboard gold resealable team bags. You can get 1,000 of these for like $30 on Amazon. And then I'm going to take this, and on these, if you print off the invoice from TCG Player, there is a fold line right there. And so all I do is I just fold on that line, and then open that back up, fold it here as such. And then I'm going to take some tape and tape this here. It kind of mimics where a credit card would go if you've ever gotten a credit card in the mail. The main thing you want to make sure is that when you do this, that I'll show you how I'll place it in the envelope. It'll make sense in a minute, but you want to give a little bit of space over here on this side. And so then I'm going to write a note, and I'm going to print this off again. This is not the one I'm going to send them. So I'll put the person's name here. Let's say it's George. And I'm going to say thank you. I always like to write a personal note. I get notes about them all the time in my reviews. Put my name, Alan. And then I usually draw a little sketch or a drawing inside each one. This is not going to be my best work because I'm trying to not waste your time. but usually it's like a little fella here holding a Pokeball. And so there it is. And then I close it up like such. Now, the envelopes that I use are windowed envelopes. And as long as you fold along the fold line, their address right here is going to appear in the window. And so here is my envelope. It's got my address on it. And there's that Dungeons and Dragons stamp that everybody loves. Just quick shout out to, let's do this camera. Quick shout out to rubberstamps.com, where I got this logo stamp for Father's Day for my family, and then the return address stamp. They come in super handy for expediting and getting things ready for that. So I've got my envelope. I've got it folded along the fold line. I open up my envelope here, slide it in, and then I just use a little tiny piece of tape just inside here to hold the paper in place so that the address doesn't get outside the window or anything like that. Pull this off, close it, and it's good to go. You can see the address will appear right here in the return window or the ship to window, and it's ready to go out the door. I stick it aside. Now, if it's 4 or 5 cards with the shipping shield, you may have to put an additional 1 ounce stamp on there. They're about 22 cents a piece, I believe, but that saves you from putting a whole nother 78-cent stamp on there, which is what stamps cost now, is 78 cents. And that's ready to go out the door. Now, if someone makes a purchase of $20 or more, Shipping Shield recommends that you do something with tracking. And so that's when you have to use a bubble mailer. These are, let me get out a ruler real quick. Oh, there it is. And again, I'm going to have another video. So it's 7 inches by 4 3/4 inches, this particular one here. And what I do with that is a very similar method. What I'm going to do, I just realized I closed an envelope with a stamp on it. Oops, this video cost me some money to make. It's all good. All right, so we're going to do the same order again. So I'm going to get my Shipping Shield here. Again, shout out to Shipping Shield. I'm going to close it. I'm going to put it in a team bag as well. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to tape it to this cardboard. Now, this cardboard, I've just basically, and I'm going to put tape on this as well. There's no cards in here, but I was going to show you guys how to do it. I take a bunch of our Amazon boxes and simply take some time to kind of break them down and cut them down to this size that fits inside the padded envelope really well. So I'm going to take this with my logo out. I'm going to use a couple pieces of tape to tape it to the cardboard. The invoice, which I'm just going to get a sheet of paper. I didn't do that well. I was thinking I was going to show you the same invoice twice, so I apologize that I didn't do that. And so let's say this is the invoice from TCG Player. Again, and this way I'm going to actually fold it twice. I'm going to do all the same things with the highlighter to make sure the right cards are in the right place. So I'm just going to fold it in half twice, and it's going to have a the person's address and name and things here, and I'll do a thank you note on this side. And then I'm going to get this card cushion from Shipping Shield, and I'm going to place that on top like such. And so this is where the tape's going to come in on the sides like such. All right, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to tape it right over the top. Just anything I can do to protect the card just a little bit more. And I typically am just going to do a piece of tape there, fold it underneath, and a small piece of tape in the back. So that card inside is very well protected. It's already in a Shipping Shield, which is more than enough. Then I've got a card cushion on top. If you don't have the card cushions, you could just use another piece of cardboard like this over the top if you like, depending on the value of the card. And then I've got my invoice would be this white piece of paper over the top. It's not coming through great on the camera. And then that simply just slides right inside the bag. And then I pull this off. sealing another bag. Just going to be wasteful, but sorry about that. I just want to show you the whole process. And then I have a thermal printer that prints off these 4x6 labels. This is just a test label from pirateship.com. And if you don't have a pirateship.com account, I would highly recommend setting up one. It doesn't cost anything. There's no subscription, and it's going to save you $2 or $3 per shipment if you're doing these bags. So I print this off on pirateship.com. It comes with tracking and everything. Put it right on top. Go just like that, and that is ready to go out the door as well. And so basically, for me, this method works really, really well. I've got it down to a science, and it's super easy to duplicate and to use. The consistency, the pictures that I take along the way. And if you're doing one that's tracked, please take it to the post office by hand and get a receipt back, because if it is insured, in order to kind of win your insurance claim, you really do need to have that receipt. That's part of the process. I'll do a whole different video on the value of making sure you have receipts and keeping track of expenses and things like that. Because when I did have an envelope, this exact envelope, show up to a customer in Washington State, and it was ripped open and everything was missing, because I had the invoice and I had taken the pictures and I had my TCG player invoice as well, I won that insurance claim instantly and got a check in the mail within just a few days. And so that kind of stuff matters. But let me tell you one more time, shippingshieldus.com, where you can get this or the card cushion that I showed you a moment ago. 10% off your full order there. These come in under the cost of top loaders if you buy them in quantity. Greg over at Shipping Shield is just a fantastic guy, and would love for you to buy products from him and support him. He's just east of me in Wisconsin, and I'm here in Minnesota. And if you want to find anything going on with me, fliphousefines.com. It's a link to all of my stuff, my social media, my Instagram, the affiliate link for Shipping Shield, where you can go ahead and buy some things. My eBay shop, which doesn't have much up in it, but go check out fliphousefines.com. The site takes a little bit to load up. I'm just kind of getting started there, but I would love for you to check that out. So I hope that this was helpful. I tried to show you a little bit of everything that I do. I also have a scale that I use when things come in. I got this for like $10 off Amazon, and also have this tape dispenser, which is weighted and has rubber on the bottom. It's incredible to be able to very quickly with one hand get tape and get it dispensed. All those little efficiencies I'm going to do in future videos to make it make sense, to make it to help you get more efficient at your shipping and packing and those kinds of things. But that's just a very quick overview of how I ship. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or maybe you're a regular seller on eBay or TCG Player and you have different things that you found to work for you. Leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear more about that. But with that being said, let's embrace failure, get better together, and sell some shiny cardboard to our friends all over the country and all over the world. My name is Alan. This is Flip House Finds, and I'll catch you in the next video.